I'm Tara Pham. I'm CEO and co-founder of Numina. And at Numina, we quantify public spaces and create real-time insights from streets. We are a team of 6 subject matter experts who have deployed global sensor networks and scaled perception technologies worldwide. And we're all obsessed with cities. Cities are ecosystems of people, of companies, of institutions that unfortunately don't really understand what's happening in our shared spaces. So sidewalks, streets, parks, the space between buildings that makes up almost half of all land area in cities really isn't generating meaningful data. Without that, we can't build a more responsive city. In fact, if you want better data about what's happening in cities, this is how you collect it. You send out a person with a clipboard or a clicker, and it's slow and it's expensive. And by and large, it's inaccurate. Maybe they're only counting cars, maybe they're counting people. And 80% of Americans live in cities. We have over 30 cities globally that exceed 10 million in population. Activity in our shared spaces is increasing exponentially. And if we want to enable innovation to also enter that space, we need a physical world API. So that's where we come in. We make a full stack solution that translates streets, activity, and events into an easy-to-use API. We live at the data creation level so that we can control, sort of be gatekeeper of that information from the real world into location-based applications and make the most valuable real-time SDK. It starts with a sensor. We have one mounted here, similarly to how we mount outside. It uses a standard steel strap system, just like any street sign, and it's a camera-based sensor. It's purpose-built for streets. It has a battery backup so that it can run off of intermittent power provided by a light pole or from a solar panel. It has a GSM module, so we transmit all of our data over 4G cell phone network. And it has a powerful processor because we are taking in images and processing them on the device. We're only transmitting critical, anonymous, real-time data. And on our sensor, this is the kind of analysis we run. We're not just detecting what is there and how many, but we're actually getting their paths, their speeds, their behaviors. And we can basically do this for anything you can see. So we right now do this for bicycles, pedestrians, and vehicles. We're getting into other things like wheelchairs, strollers, dogs, you name it. And we can actually increase our capabilities by an over-the-air software update to our sensor. So we're inventorying counts, movements, activities. We're creating a place personalities index so that, for example, autonomous vehicles can calibrate their algorithms to be site-specific to the streets that they're actually navigating in. And we do all of this processing on the device. So we don't have to save or transmit imagery. It's a major differentiator for us from other camera solutions in the traffic or smart cities space. We believe that this technology, high level, is inevitable. Our approach is actually preventing the surveillance state. And it's much more scalable and much more secure. So we can expose our sensor data directly to users in real time, directly, without risking citizen privacy. So we deliver essentially only anonymous metadata. Here you're actually looking at our front end for urban planners that use our platform. And we're looking at a highly jaywalked intersection in Jacksonville. The red line or orange-ish lines you see are pedestrian tracks. For planners, this is unique because they're able to splice and dice the data in the street view and actually define areas and screen lines that they want to measure. We can link that data then in real time to other applications, either from the city or from private sector customers or companies. You can think of it kind of like an if this, then that for streets. So for example, a retailer might measure exactly how many pedestrians go into a specific storefront, or the trash hauler may want to know when trash bags reach a certain level on the sidewalk to automatically come then. With autonomous vehicles, we're taking multiple measurements per second, and so we can inform 3D mapping companies when a significant change in the street has happened so they can have the most up-to-date information and also populate more realistic training models for AV simulations. This is critical now because automation is entering streets, and for the top 25 cities in the US, this automation and autonomy will kill about $5 billion in auto-related revenues each year. So that's things like parking, traffic violations, even gas taxes, registration fees, those are all being essentially destroyed by autonomy and shared mobility models. So our model is we outfit the city with our sensors, either paid for by the city or by these private sector companies who want this data. We monetize the data in a streets data marketplace, and we actually revenue share with the city. We do that because normally to install a device on the light pole, a city might charge you $3,000 to $6,000 per year, but with us, we're aligning our incentives. They basically give us that real estate, protect that space for us, push developers our way, and allow us to monetize the data freely. So this is not future state. We are already deployed in 4 cities, and we have our next 4 projects deploying in July when we launch our Generation 2 sensor. 2 of our first cities we closed in under 24 days from a cold email. There are about 40,000 municipal and sort of quasi-governmental agencies that we can sell into in the US alone, but more often than not, we actually expect private sector companies who are desperate for this data to pay for the sensors in the city. To date, we've worked with Philips Lighting, which is the largest outdoor lighting company. They make the light poles, and right now we're starting to pilot our technology with autonomous vehicle companies. We are focusing on mobility because opportunistically, they are deploying now. In the last 3 years, $80 billion has been invested in autonomous vehicle companies. They're spending that on R&D and infrastructure. We're aligning with them to get our sensors deployed, but once we're deployed, we can actually serve data to many huge global sectors. So our priorities right now are to finance this, to grow our footprint, deploy in more cities, and we're hiring. So please come find us and talk to us more about this. We're a mission-driven company. Our mission is to empower cities with data, and we'd love to speak with you about it. Thank you.